Welcome back to your go-to channel for the latest headlines and in-depth updates. Today, we've got major allegations in the media world, a significant ruling from Meta's Oversight Board, an antitrust investigation into Nvidia, and much more. Let's dive in. Our first story today involves serious allegations from the U.S. Department of Justice. Tenet Media, which hosts political commentators such as Tim Pool, Benny Johnson, Dave Rubin, and Lauren Southern, has been accused of receiving nearly $10 million from Russian state media to promote pro-Russian narratives. The DOJ claims that this was part of a broader effort to amplify domestic divisions in the U.S. Two employees of the Russian state-owned outlet RT, Konstantin Kalashnikov and Elena Afanasieva, are at the center of the case, facing charges of conspiracy to commit money laundering and violating the Foreign Agents Registration Act. The indictment also alleges that Tenet Media's founder, Lauren Chen, concealed the true source of these funds from the platform's contributors. Both Tim Pool and Benny Johnson have released statements in response. Pool expressed that, if true, he and other commentators were deceived by Tenet Media, adding his strong condemnation of Vladimir Putin and Russia. Benny Johnson also distanced himself from the company, stating that his contract was terminated and he was unaware of any Russian involvement. Moving on, Meta's Oversight Board recently ruled that the phrase, "from the river to the sea," does not violate its hate speech policies. This decision comes after extensive debate over the phrase's usage in the context of the Israel-Palestine conflict. The board concluded that while the phrase has been historically associated with Hamas, it is also used as a political expression of Palestinian solidarity and self-determination. The board emphasized that banning the phrase could stifle political speech, especially since it doesn't inherently call for violence. Meta's Oversight Board, which includes experts from various fields such as law, human rights, and journalism, is tasked with overseeing content moderation decisions. Their ruling means that posts containing this phrase will remain on platforms like Facebook and Instagram unless there is clear evidence of it being used to incite violence. In other news, Nvidia, the leader in AI chip production, is facing an intensified antitrust investigation from the U.S. Justice Department. Subpoenas have been issued as part of a probe into whether Nvidia's business practices violate competition laws, with particular focus on its dominance in the AI chip market. Regulators are looking into whether Nvidia's practices make it harder for customers to switch to other suppliers and whether the company penalizes those who don't exclusively use its products. Nvidia has defended itself, stating that it wins on merit with customers free to choose solutions that work best for them. The investigation also includes scrutiny of Nvidia's recent acquisition of Run AI, a software company that manages AI computing. Nvidia's stock, which had already seen a significant decline, continued to drop following news of the subpoenas. Meanwhile, in Venezuela, President Nicolás Maduro has declared that Christmas celebrations will begin early this year on October 1st, to be exact. This is part of his attempt to boost public morale, but it comes at a time when the country is grappling with a serious political crisis. Maduro's announcement follows a disputed July election in which he claimed a third term, despite widespread accusations of fraud. Critics say the early Christmas celebrations are an attempt to distract from Venezuela's worsening economic and political situation, where opposition leaders continue to challenge the election results. In the U.S., tragedy struck at Appalachia High School in Georgia, where a shooting left 4 people dead on Wednesday morning. Authorities confirmed that the suspect is in custody, and the school was placed under lockdown as law enforcement responded swiftly to secure the area. Governor Brian Kemp urged Georgians to pray for the victims, while President Biden was briefed on the incident. This is yet another heartbreaking school shooting that has left the community in mourning. In international news, an attempted prison break at Congo's Makala Central Prison resulted in 129 deaths. Congolese officials report that inmates were shot by guards during the escape attempt, but activists claim that the true death toll could be over 200. Congolese human rights groups are demanding an independent investigation into the incident, pointing to overcrowded prison conditions and claims of mistreatment. The government has yet to address these concerns, and the situation remains tense. Back in the U.S., California Democrats have rejected a Republican proposal to eliminate the state tax on service workers' tips. Despite a similar push at the federal level by Vice President Kamala Harris, California legislators dismissed the proposal without discussion, frustrating many who believe this could provide financial relief to workers. Republican leaders have criticized the decision, saying it was a missed opportunity to support workers, especially in light of the state's ongoing economic struggles. The UK government has announced the suspension of certain arms exports to Israel, citing concerns over potential violations of international humanitarian law in the ongoing Gaza conflict. The decision affects military aircraft components and targeting systems. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu condemned the move, stating that it would not deter Israel from continuing its military operations in Gaza. This decision comes amid increasing pressure on the UK government from human rights organizations. Finally, Ronnie S. Davis, a 30-year-old Chicago man, has been charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder after a Labor Day shooting on a Chicago Transit Authority train. Authorities believe the victims were randomly targeted while they slept, and the investigation is ongoing. This tragedy has left the local community reeling, with officials calling for improved security measures on public transit. That's all for tonight's news update. Thank you for joining us. We'll continue to monitor these stories and bring you the latest developments. Stay safe, stay informed, and have a good night. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update.